Good evening. What is the scope of this? Okay, in general scope of this chapter. So we'll be discussing while loop, then for loop, then do while loops. Three loops are there. C++ three loops are there. Java three loops are there. There is an increment and decrement operator, right? Okay, good to know that all four have come. So there is an increment decrement operator. We will see this, a new operator. So how nesting of loops, as I said in the last chapter, after nesting of if else, there is a nesting of loops. Very useful because all these control structures are going to be useful throughout our C syllabus. Then how break and continue statement work, how these are useful for us. So we will study those, and there is one special loop. It is not a official term, special loop. That is the term I have given you. So there is, you can see it's a special loop or a indefinite loop. Lot of variety ways are there to write the loop. So while it is a keyword syntax, each loop has got three parts. Okay, for some loop it might not be, but without that loop cannot be executed. Okay, some other mechanism is there, but three parts are there in one or other form, right? So each time there cannot be increment or decrement, but something must be there to break that loop, because loop is something, okay, which certain part of the code you want to be executed repeatedly. So that part we put inside the loop. That's why we call it as the loop control structure. So for any loop, there would be initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. Obviously, condition would return either 0 or 1, or true or false. When condition becomes false, the control will go outside the loop. As far as while loop is concerned and do while loop is concerned, major difference is at which point, at which position the condition is being tested. As far as while loop is concerned, the condition is tested before loop starts, whereas do while loop is concerned, the condition is tested after the loop. Okay, but to give you a real life example, there are some bridges you might have traveled on the highway, right? So there are some bridges or there are some expressways where toll is taken at the beginning before you enter onto the expressway, okay, or a bridge or a tunnel or whatever. Okay, so sometimes toll is that toll plaza is before the tunnel or before the bridge. Sometimes it is after the bridge. Okay, so either of the end that you have to pick. So in the same fashion, be it a while loop where condition is tested before you enter the loop, whereas do while it is condition is tested after the loop. Here note that like if block, the while condition is not terminated by semicolon. If condition is not also terminated by semicolon. So there is initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. Right? For loop, very popular loop. Students love this loop. Programmers love this loop. Okay, all over the world. So it is popular. Again, it is a keyword, right? Syntax is everything is written inside the for, followed by a pair of parentheses. So initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, and increment. Okay. So in case of while, it is called a while block. In case of a for, it is a for block. So like if condition, even for loops as well, it is not mandatory that it must be followed by a pair of curly braces. It is not mandatory to put the block. It may happen that for loop, only single statement is associated. Okay? So it is not mandatory. But if you want to execute multiple statements along with the loop, then you have to put that multiple statement inside a pair of curly braces, right? There can be multiple initialization, multiple condition, so it is possible, obviously possible, right? That we will write a few codes to check. Increment and decrement operator. So there is a plus plus increment operator and minus minus increment operator. It can be a postfix increment or a prefix increment. Now prefix increment and postfix increments have got different meaning when plus plus or minus minus are part of expression, right? I will cover that in a program. Then there is a compound operator, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to. We call it as a compound operator. Then division equal to and modulus equal to. Meaning is same. So plus equal to x plus equal to 1 means x is equal to x plus 1. Let me cover the theoretical aspect part, then directly we will go for the programming. Do while, whatever the discussed, same thing is here. Initialization, loop, body of the loop is there, and then condition. But note that here, while condition at the end of block is terminated by semicolon. This is the difference. There are two differences basically between this loop and earlier loop, while loop. As far as while loop is concerned, there is no guarantee that loop will be executed. Whereas the do while loop is concerned, do while loop is executed at least once. Only because condition is tested after the body of the loop. And second difference is this is terminated by semicolon, whereas while loop is not terminated by semicolon. There can be nesting, like if else. And nesting, while doing nesting, in any loop can be written inside any loop. Okay, so there can be while inside while, there can be while inside for, there can be for inside while. So it is your call. You can write the way you feel comfortable. So there is no specific rule as far as loops are concerned. You can loop any loop anywhere, right? We will write some basic codes, write a program, find the simple interest, right? Repeatedly. Write a program to find the simple interest repeatedly for multiple this thing, right? Multiple inputs. If I want to find multiple interests, so there would be, what is multiple interest? There would be a principal amount, there would be rate of interest, and tenure. So there will be some principal amount, there would be some interest, and there will be tenure of loan amount. Okay? Number of years, you can say. So what would be the monthly premium? We will follow just simple this thing. So I will declare variable as int principal amount, right? Int, I can give number of years, right? 10 years. But just years is sufficient, right? And float rate of interest, ROI, right? I want to make it repeatedly. I will write, because if repeatedly is not there, what will happen? We will check. Enter principal amount. Program should be neat. So float simple interest, right? So it will be simple interest is equal to principal amount into yes into rate of interest divided by 100. That is the simple interest. Percent. Right? So enter principal amount. Suppose 12,000. No, this much. It should be big. 1,25,486. That is the loan amount. Suppose, right? Number of years. Suppose 2. Rate of interest. Suppose 12.56. Oh, 0.56. So simple interest. That is a EMI will be 31,522. I want to check this simple interest, calculate simple interest for another reason, another value. I will have to run it again. Okay. Or I will have to run all, I will to write this again, this code again. I will to, okay. What I have to do? I have to do this again. I have to Control C, and then I will have to write it again. Okay. In that case, it will run twice. So suppose I enter for 5 lakh, number of years suppose 3, interest rate suppose 8.9, enter principal amount suppose 24000, 2,40,000, rate of interest, enter number of years suppose 7, interest rate is suppose 10.2, 10.3, but after 2 it will stop, right? So you can put it inside the loop. Okay. So there are 3 loops. One is while. So while condition. So suppose I less than or equal to 3. So this is a condition. What you want to do that many times? I want to calculate this simple interest. Right? So put that inside the loop. So what will happen? It will be executed. But have we written everything? That we'll have to check. Now if I run this code, okay, anything can happen. It will run infinitely or it may not be executed at all. Okay, let's try this. Let's check it because it is not going to give any error warning, nothing. Okay, it doesn't running. It is. I mean, it is not executed at all. Why? Because control. It means control didn't go at all. Why? Because I has been initialized. Okay, since I has not been initialized, definitely I contain some garbage which is not less than 3. That is a big question. Okay, so I have to initialize it to some value, right? I will initialize to 1 so that it can be the control can be taken inside while loop. Obviously, you'll have to increment this. So let's say I plus 1. So this is a increment. This is initialization, condition, and increment. Right? Increment can be written in this way because value of the expression on the right hand side is assigned to variable on the left hand. So current value of I, so 1 is added and the new value is stored again into the I. That way we can increment that I. Here I is just a loop counter, right? I is a loop counter here. This is the condition part. This is the increment part. See, all these data doesn't have anything to do along with I. Doesn't have. Okay. So if I run this code, now this loop will be executed 10 times. Okay. Suppose 80,006 3.4. Okay. And then 7,05,000, 7,50,000. Number of years, suppose 4. And rate of interest, suppose 8.65. And it will see simple interest as 25,000, 2,59,499. Right? I don't know whether it is correct or not. Enter principal amount. Yes, one more is to be entered. Logic is correct, formula might be wrong. Okay, no, nothing, no error in formula as well. Right, this is correct. What is important is we are trying to understand the loop. Okay, now here we will debug this code, right? Like yesterday. So we will use that watch, right? So here, first of all, these three statements will be executed, right? So suppose 2 lakh, 25 lakh, 25 lakh amount is there, loan amount. Number of years, suppose 7. Suppose Malya has taken the loan. Okay? Malya 25 lakh to nahi lega. He will take 25 crores, 25,000 crores. So let it be interest rate, suppose 14.89. Simple interest. Now, okay, we are not going to the run to cursor. We are not using. So program is getting executed, right? Okay. I have to use the run to cursor. There is that debug run to cursor, right? So now program has come where? Observe this now. There is nothing on the output window only because the control is at the line number 19 while I less than equal to 3. Okay, so let's check first of all debugging windows and watches. What is the value of I here? What is the value of I here? That is 1 because it has been initialized now. But other variables contain garbage. So principal amount contains 64, years contains something, junk value, big value, simple interest is something. Have you observed all these float values have got decimal points, right? And I told you yesterday, if you can recall, because you have to understand from that angle, okay, not just syntax and programs, everything. I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I told you that float variable, I mean, floating point constant, okay, or the number which contains decimal point, by default it is double, if you can recall. So you can observe here, this is the double value 1.1203877 e raised to 044. It is a double value. I told you that it is a double value, right? And a rate of interest 5.886751115 into e raised to, that is 10 raised to minus 039. Huge value is there in the ROI. These are junk values, these are garbage values, so which is of no use. So how I can now step into, so go into step into, right? So step into, okay, So now next line. Okay, then step into, because unless you step into, scanf won't work. Scanf will work, there is no problem. So enter principal amount, suppose 5 lakh. Right? As soon as you press the enter key, control will go to the next line. So it goes to the next line. Here I will press next line. Right? So you will get another message, number of years. Right? So I'll go inside this thing. It will take the input. Suppose what is the number of years? Suppose 5. Then again will control come here. Go to the next line. I'll enter rate of interest. Goes 8.956. What is that? 85. Something wrong. 8. Okay. You are not gone into that statement, so it is not taking. 8.967. Right? And now it is at simple interest. So whatever values you have stored now, they are stored in the memory location, right? Simple interest is yet to be calculated, but years, principal amount, and interest rate that has been stored 8.967, right? Okay, where current value of I is 1, so it will calculate. Okay, so I will go inside, step into. So as soon as it is calculated, simple interest is 2,24,175, and it will print. It has not yet printed because printf statement has not been yet executed. So we'll go next line. No, you'll come outside. You will find that it is printed. Right now, here I will be incremented. Still, I is 1. As soon as I go step into, I becomes 2, and this value will be tested along with 3. So 2 is less than or equal to 3. So step into, step ahead, enter some value. Okay. Some problem is there along with my keyboard. Sometimes I feel, yes. So I come here, then go to the next statement, right? Again go to the next statement, then enter some value, right? Again it will come here. See, it is irritating. Debugging is not easy. So enter interest rate 2.8. Okay, it will go here. Simple interest. So again it will calculate, and you will find that 1 lakh something like that. Okay, I will come outside the loop. Right. Go to next line. Now here value of I is 3. Okay, I will stop that. Okay, I will step into, and you need patience, right? Because you have to, if you make a mistake, you have to do this much task to find out the mistake, right? The printf, not going to the inside printf. Now this statement is executed. I becomes what? 4. Now value of I is not less than 3, so loop will be terminated. Right? If you try to go step inside, it will not go inside the loop, but it will go, control will go outside the loop, and next statement after the loop, right? That is very important. So it will go to the, what is the next statement? Return 0. So it will go to the return 0 statement, right? I will stop the debugger. So this is how while loop is executed. Now we will write simple program to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so int I, printing number, no, numbers in various ways. I'll write various ways, not 1 to 10. Right? So int I'll write for I equals 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. I is equal to I plus 1. Right? I'll write printf percent d it's 3 dots I. Right? So if I run this program, it will print 1 to 10. Right? Now, this statement, this is basically initialization. This is condition. This is increment. Okay. So control will go inside. It will be executed, and control still remains inside the loop till the condition becomes false. It cannot come outside. Right. If you don't write this, loop will be executed infinitely. Okay. It won't come outside. Okay, it will go on printing 1 1 1 1 1 1, right? You have to abort that program because the value of I remains 1 always, right? Now, I increment can be done in various ways. I equal to I plus 1 was one way. Second way is I plus equal to 1, right? This is one way. This is expanded into I plus. I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, this is expanded. This is called a compound operator. The third way is to I increment I plus plus. So this is how it can be written. This is a postfix increment operator, right? So I plus plus is postfix. Plus plus I is prefix. When these are not part of expression, meaning is same. When these are when these are not part of expression, meaning is same. When these are part of expression, meaning is different. What do I mean? I'll explain you. Right? So here I if I run this code, it will run as in the earlier case. We will print numbers from 1 to 10. If I write plus plus I, it will run in the same fashion, right? If I don't write, I write here only. This is valid, okay? To print 1 to 10. But now I plus plus is this prefix this unary operator. Plus plus is a unary operator. Now this is a part of expression. When I wrote here, it was completely independent. Now this is not independent. This is a part of whole expression. So it will behave accordingly. Okay. If I write plus plus I instead of I plus plus, what will happen here? Before printing, this will be incremented. So it will start printing at 2 and end at 11. Okay. So it will start printing at 2 and end at 11. Why? Because I is equal to 1. Okay. But before printing, the I is incremented. See, in the earlier case as well as this case, loop is going to loop is going to be executed 10 times. But as far as printing is concerned, it will increment first and then print. So there lies the difference between prefix and postfix, right? And it can be anywhere. It can be like this, right? So this is a but even whatever you miss here, okay, if you don't write here, even you can initialize it here, right? So this is a combination of for and while. Okay, Here I have done initialization. Here condition is there. Here increment is there. Right. So it will print 1 to 10. Right. Now since this is a independent, it can be plus plus I. Doesn't make any difference. Okay. Doesn't make at all any difference. Huh? Sorry. Now it may be I is equal to 10. Okay. I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. Right. Greater than or equal to write 1. Right. And here I will have to write I minus minus. So here numbers will print from 10 to 1 in the reverse order. Right. So 10 will be printed first and then 1 will be printed. So you have to play along with the loop. Right. So this is a for loop. This is a postfix, this is a prefix. If I want to, suppose I write do, then I will write while, and what I have to do? While I is greater than or equal to 1. What will happen here? It has to be. It give you got the error because it has to be terminated by semicolon. Right? Numbers from 10 to 1. Here condition is tested after the loop. So if suppose here I write I is greater than or equal to 100, right? This loop is going to be executed once. Okay. Earlier the while loop wouldn't have been executed. While or do while loop wouldn't have been executed. But this is executed at least once. Why? Because 10 is printed and then condition is tested. So 10 is not greater than or equal to 100. So loop breaks. These are very useful. These loops are very useful. I will show you this, right? I will show you how variety kind of loops can be used throughout curriculum. I will show you. Very interesting ways are there to write loops. Okay, apart from this typical do while and no, syntaxes will be same, but how you write the condition, okay, how you can manipulate that, how you can use your mind to write in different ways. Okay, because that condition can be written in various ways, right? I will show you that. Not particularly everything I will not cover here. Okay. Now, whichever concepts left in all these 4 chapters, that is control structure. Some part of if I have not taught intentionally, some part of loop I will not teach you intentionally. Okay, that will be covered later in the curriculum. Because at that time you will understand the importance of that. Right now, if I teach, you will just understand concept. But what is the use of that? You don't know, so you will forget that concept. Okay? So it should not happen that way, right? So we have seen while, do while, and for. 3 loops we have seen. Okay. We will stop today and ASCII value. Now, as far as character constant is concerned, I have told you that character is internally treated as integer. Right. Now, each character has got corresponding ASCII values. In all, there are 128 basic character set. Okay, there is a set of 128 basic character set, that is called a basic set. which has got ASCII values from 0 to 127. Many students perhaps fail to understand why it is required and um, why such a mess has been made. See, there is no mess. Problem is that suppose I declare a variable as int x equal to suppose 5. Hmm? So how 5 can be expressed? You are a computer engineer. So 5 has got bit pattern as 101, right? No, no. 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2. So 5 has got bit pattern as 101, right? Now, suppose ch is there and I stored 5 as a character constant because 5 is a character constant, right? So how 5 can be stored? So 5 here is not a digit. 5 here is a character constant because there are only 10 digits. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. Okay. Using these 10 digits, all numbers are formed. Okay, in the world. I mean decimal numbers. Now, question is how this 5 can be stored. How this? Because 5 cannot be stored as like this. So this 5 has been given some ASCII value. So what is the ASCII value of this? How we can find that? If I write printf ASCII value is %d. Okay. And ASCII value has only characters have got ASCII value. There is no question of no integers and float has got ASCII value. If I write suppose ch, it will print the ASCII value. 0 has got ASCII value as 48. Okay, so it will print 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. So it will print 53 as ASCII value, right? So ASCII value is 53, right? So what does it do? It stores the bit pattern of 53. This is a bit pattern of 5. Okay. And when you store 5 as a character constant, you will store bit pattern of 53. Got that? So 53 is what? 53 is 32. That is 2 raised to 2 into 2 raised to 5, right? 2 raised to 5 plus 2 raised to 53, 16, right? 2 raised to 4, 32, 16, so 48, right? Plus 2 raised to 4, no, 2, okay? So this is 48 plus this 4, 52, plus 2 raised to 0, right? So this will be the bit pattern, right? This will be the bit pattern of 53. What will be bit pattern? 0, no, 1, 0, 1, then 0, then 1, then 1. So this will be a bit pattern of character constant 5. Right. So this I explained about the internals of this thing. What? Uh, Character constant, how it is stored. So your question was, I think, whether it is integer or whether it is some kind of thing. Okay. So how I can check that? I'll write if ch is greater than or equal to 48, double ampersand ch is less than or equal to 57. Right? What I can say? The character is digit. Right? Right? This is how you have to check that. Printer enter character, right? Else, I'm just checking only one condition, right? Right here in not a digit, right? What happened? I have not written any scanf function. We took the junk value. Machine आहे ते मूर्ख वागणार. त्याला कशी अक्कल असेल? So robo is a robo, right? So enter any character. Suppose I enter 8, it will say character is digit, right? Suppose I enter P, it will say character is not a digit. Right? So you have to taste the ASCII value. Okay. So you can extend the program because what is the character set? 0 digits from 0 to 9. Right? ASCII value are 48 to 57. Right? Capital A to Z. ASCII values are from 65 to 90. Small a to Z. ASCII values from 97 to 122. And in between all, याच्यात जे म्हणजे आता all special character म्हणजे काय असणार 0 to 47, 58 to 64, then 91 to 91 to what? 96 and 1 to 3 to 1 to 7. Okay. And extended character set is 128 to 255 character set. तर तुम्हाला चेक करायचंय, काय चेक करायचंय? स्मॉल ए टू झेड असेल तर कम्पेअर करताना यू हॅव टू हे कम्पेअर करायला लागेल. कळालं? You to do like this. I hope you understood.